When we came into the Earth, we were not really the most dominant species, but over time, with the help of our tools and superior intelligence, we have managed to carve a niche for ourselves and even become the dominant species. Sadly though, we did not stop there and went on hunting other animals and even depriving them of their natural habitat. Thus, their population decreased. Let's take a look at some of the vulnerable animal species today. Number 15. The Western Lowland Gorilla. In the areas of Western Africa, there are two species of gorillas found which are native to these lands. One of them is the Western Lowland Gorilla, of which only 100,000 remain in the wild. While that number might not seem very alarming, it has deteriorated by 80% in the last 25 years, and that is mainly because of habitat loss and due to illegal hunting, as their meat is sold as food in the Western countries. Another major threat that the Western Lowland gorillas face is the Ebola virus, for which there is no cure. In fact, in some forest regions, the Ebola virus has wiped out almost 90% of the gorilla population. Number 14. The leatherback sea turtle. These turtles are the biggest turtles found on Earth, and true to their stature, they also have the largest range of any species of turtles. The leatherback sea turtle can be found from the tropics to the subpolar regions. Estimates say there were around 115,000 adult female leatherbacks in the world in 1982, but just 14 years later, the number was between 20,000 and 30,000, and it has only been declining ever since. The turtles came out on the beaches and dig holes to lay their eggs, but sadly, the stealing of these eggs along with illegal poaching has led to an alarming decrease in the numbers. Number 13. The giant panda. Of all the animals in the world, there would hardly be any who would be able to give the giant pandas a run for their money when it comes to cuteness. These black and white creatures are just adorable and spend half their day eating bamboo and the other half sleeping. Unfortunately, the loss of habitat and poaching have pushed these pandas on the brink of extinction, and today they only exist in China and number fewer than 2,500. Thankfully, their poaching has been ceased, and stringent laws to protect their habitats offer a ray of hope for these adorable animals. Number 12. The orangutan. Literally translated, their name means person of the forest in Malaysian, and they are not quite far from the truth either, as they share 96% of their genes with humans. These creatures are loved the world over for their intelligence, playfulness, and looks, and they have been known to use tools, much like humans. These apes are restricted to Borneo and Sumatra, but that doesn't stop people from keeping them as exotic pets all around the world. And because of the price they are willing to pay for a pet orangutan, they have become a much-hunted species, and according to a survey in 2004, their numbers were less than 60,000. Orangutans also like to live solitary lives, or in a maximum group of 3, which makes them easy targets. Number 11. Hawksbill turtle. Consider this. An animal which has been around for over 100 million years is now in danger, and there is no extinction level event threatening it. The hawksbill turtle are found throughout the tropical oceans of the world and are known for their colored and patterned shells. It is these shells which makes them a prey for poachers, as the shells fetch a high price in the market. Their population has declined rapidly by over 80%, and there are just 20,000 to 23,000 left. One of the major threats facing these turtles is, apart from the fact that they are hunted by humans, their nests are also easy targets for other land predators. Combine that with poaching and their very existence is under threat. Let us hope that the conservation efforts are able to increase their population soon. Number 10. The Hawaiian monk seal. Although Hawaiian monk seals tend to live far from humans on remote beaches throughout the Hawaiian island chain, fewer than 1,000 of them remain, and their numbers continue to decline. Scientists are unsure of the cause, but suspect that changes in ocean conditions and competition from commercial fishermen may be reducing the numbers of fish they depend on for food. They also face threats from entanglements in fishing nets and discarded fishing gear, and can catch diseases from dogs and other domestic animals as well. Number 9. The Siberian tiger. Tigers are majestic beasts, and they are powerful. It is actually surprising to think that humans pose any dangers to these massive cats, but our technology and guns are actually lethal to them. And while tigers all around are in danger, the Siberian tigers are actually on the brink of extinction. They are the largest of any tigers, and their population is just 450 today. Sadly, their poaching is still very profitable because tiger parts are used in a lot of traditional Chinese medicine, and they are also facing the pressures of a depleting habitat. Let us hope that this sad trend reverses and the Siberian tigers are returned to their former glory when they roamed fearlessly across Russia and China. Number 8. The northern right whale. Even the story behind how they got their name is tragic. The northern right whales were deemed as the right whale to kill because not only was it full of valuable whale oil, but it also floated after death, making it much easier to handle and process. The result? Whaling actually drove this species to extinction, with it becoming one of the most endangered species in the world. But there was some respite as its population began to surge, but it has taken a hit again because of global warming. The rising temperatures have caused the krill to leave their habitat, and that was the main source of their diet. It was estimated that there were around 450 northern white whales in the 21st century. Number 7. The Javan rhinoceros. Rhinoceros are a really mighty animal to look at. Strongly built with a really poignant-looking horn on their snouts, they are a picture to behold. Sadly, that horn is what makes them so valuable by poachers. Out of the 5 species rhinoceros in the world, the Javan rhinoceros is the most threatened, with only 40 to 60 of these creatures left alive. They only exist in the Ujung Kulon National Park today, where they once roamed throughout Southeastern Asia and Indonesia. Poaching is the main reason behind their decline, and because of the lack of a significant breeding population, they aren't really looking good for making a comeback. Number 6. The Amur leopard. Once, these exotic leopards used to roam around the areas of northern China and Korea as well. But today, they are only limited to the remote and snowy forests of eastern Russia. It is believed that there are only 14 to 20 adult Amur leopards in the world today, with just 5 to 6 cubs. This sad state of affairs is the result of habitat loss due to colonization, poaching, and global warming. And because of the small number of these leopards left, inbreeding is also posing a major threat to these magnificent beasts. Number 5. The northern sportive lemur. Lemurs are fascinating creatures that are found exclusively in the Madagascar island. These nocturnal creatures are identified with their large eyes, but unfortunately, all of the 100 or so species of lemur are endangered. But one that is really close to extinction is the northern sportive lemur. It is estimated that there are only 20 of these animals left, and 2 in just one tip of Madagascar. Logging in the forest where they live is the main reason behind their declining population. And if the ecology of Madagascar isn't improved really soon, the northern sportive lemur might not be around in the next decade. Number 4. Ivory-billed woodpecker. The world may have seen the last of the ivory-billed woodpeckers. Their natural habitat was Southeast USA and Cuba, and they were actually one of the largest woodpeckers known to man. These birds were considered to be extinct up until 2004, where there were many reports of their sightings in Arkansas and Florida. However, even as hopes went up, there were no confirmed sightings. And even if they do exist, their numbers are sure to be extremely small. Habitat loss is one of the main reasons behind their declining numbers, and their feathers also made them a target of human hunters. Number 3. Kakapo parrot. Imagine a species so rare that each one of the remaining 150 or so parrots have been given individual names. The Kakapo parrots are actually pretty unique because they are the heaviest parrots and also flightless. They were once a common sight in New Zealand during the night, as they are nocturnal birds, one of the very few. Because these parrots could not fly, their nests on the ground were easy targets for rats and cats, and they were almost completely wiped out. It was only in 2 small remote islands that they survived, and thankfully, there is now an intensive program to keep them from going extinct. Number 2. Northern white rhino. Rhinoceros have been around on Earth for the past 15 million years, but they might not be around for many more if we do not do something about it immediately. Especially for the white rhino, as there are only 3 of them left in the world, with only 1 of them being male. As a result, these animals are highly protected, and there are armed guards around them at all times in an effort to save them. But we might have left things a little too late for these awe-inducing animals who have been poached mercilessly for their horn. Number 1. The Chinese giant salamander. These creatures were the largest amphibians in the world and used to grow to about 6 feet in length, but sadly, they have disappeared from the earth. The Chinese giant salamanders were known to live in streams and forested hills and could lay up to 500 eggs at one time, which would be protected by the male, which was why they were a common sight throughout central and southwestern China. However, they were also considered as a food source by the people, and hence their number declined, and today they have completely disappeared. Have you ever seen any of these magnificent animals? How would you feel if they went extinct? Let us know in the comments below, and let us try to raise awareness about them. And do remember to subscribe to our channel to get the latest updates on all of our videos.